What does GP mean, Stephen?
General practice.
Wow.
Start talking? Good evening, everyone, and welcome to our college's first ever virtual oath and hooding ceremony. I'm Laura Nelson, and I serve as the Associate Dean and Director of Academic Affairs at the College of Veterinary Medicine at North Carolina State University. As we are presenting digitally, a few ground rules as we get going. Family, friends, and faculty, please make as much noise as you like. You may get up and move around the room if you please. Feel free to shout, text, email, message, and otherwise send your congratulations to your graduate as you are moved to do so. Tonight, we will honor graduates from the Comparative Biomedical Sciences program and formally induct 100 talented, remarkable individuals into the veterinary profession. These individuals make up our class of 2020, the 36th veterinary class to graduate from this college. As a reflection of our respect and regard for our graduates, we will refer to them as doctors throughout our program this evening, even as we move through the process of their induction. You'll find some notes describing the meaning and history of the regalia that I'm wearing in the program, as well as the names of graduates and speakers. In addition to wearing the colors associated with our degrees and our alma maters, we are each wearing this green ribbon and pin in honor of Dr. Samantha Lynn of the DVM class of 2020, who will be receiving a posthumous degree from our college. Before I go any further, I'd like to acknowledge some very important members of our viewing audience. First, I celebrate the families, friends, and loved ones of our DVM and CVS graduates tonight. We thank you for the support you've shown our graduates before they joined our PAC and for your care of them during the stress of training. We know that you'll continue to care for them. I can only imagine how proud you must be. I hope that you know how grateful we are to have spent these years with your beloved graduates. Secondly, I honor and celebrate our faculty. I could not imagine working with a more passionate and talented group of colleagues. Also, I know that they, like me, are missing the chance to celebrate in person with our graduates tonight. Finally, we are grateful to members of the North Carolina Veterinary Medical Foundation for their steadfast support of the college and particularly of our students. Ladies and gentlemen, and whatever pets are in the room with you now, I am pleased to give some remarks about and to the class of 2020. This class includes some people who were pretty accomplished before arriving here, including a lawyer, an aerospace engineer, and a Black Hawk helicopter pilot. They are parents and caregivers. Many are the first in their families to attend college and to earn a graduate degree. At least 4 of them are obsessed with beagles. Their interests range from beekeeping to acupuncture to hosting weekly skee ball tournaments. One of them is a professional photographer in addition to a veterinarian. This class was the first to spend all 4 years as part of the house system and played an integral role in incorporating the system into the college's culture. I'd also like to say that this is the first class at NC State that I had the opportunity to work with in surgery during the 2nd and 3rd years of their training. They are good at tying knots. More importantly, I have seen as much or more leadership, community, and care among this group than I have in 17 graduating veterinary classes taught across 3 different colleges. This is a remarkable cohort. Class of 2020, you've impressed us all along. In easier times, your class consistently showed engagement, cohesion, and initiative. You've also had to bear more than any group deserves, the loss of a classmate, the intrusion of a pandemic on your training, and a socially distant farewell. I hope over the course of the evening that we can honor your accomplishments in achieving your degrees. I hope that you will also come away with a sense of our regard and affection. We've missed you. We didn't want to send you off this way either. To help me out, I've asked some members of the CVM community to give me some memories and well wishes to share with you. Audience, I believe that these remarks speak volumes about what this tremendous, remarkable class means to us. Dr. Derek Foster shared how impressed he is with your spirit of collaboration with one another. He asks you to continue the spirit of teamwork as you move into practice. Dr. Lisa Posner would like to remind you once again that none of you got here by accident. You've earned the honor of being part of tonight's ceremony. You are all more ready than you know. Dr. Matt Gerard would like to reshare a quote that he shared at the end of his last anatomy lecture. The greatest ignorance is to reject something you know nothing about. He hopes that you'll remain lifelong learners and as a consequence, live a life more fulfilled for those around you and for yourself. Dr. Phil Sanis wishes you wonderful long lives. He shares the following quote: lasting impressions are often based on the residue of brief moments in time or incidents long forgotten. Dr. Karen Hale honors your resiliency. She writes, "I've never worked with a class who has had to face such difficult challenges and has shown such strength of character, ability to persevere, and compassion. I am certain I learned at least as much from all of you amazing individuals as you learned from me. I feel privileged to have been a part of your lives, and I am so excited to see what fabulous things are in your future." Dr. Abby Taylor shares that your energy, enthusiasm, empathy, and humor have made teaching a pleasure and not a job. She's seen you reach out again and again when others are in need to bring them cheer. While she knows these last few weeks away from school have been disappointing, she knows that they have not hindered you. Every one of you is capable of moving out into the world as doctors and have been for some time now. Mr. Jeff Huckle attributes many qualities to this group, among them kindness, compassion, and resilience. He is most grateful, though, for the way you've shared love with one another in joy and in sorrow. You teach us to share it openly and without fear. You uplifted others and allowed yourselves to be wrapped in the safe arms of others when needed. Thank you for sharing your love. He wishes you all the best and looks forward to seeing you in the future. Finally, Ms. Gail Drewley thinks of you and thanks you for being with her through her whole cancer journey, which isn't really what she calls it, but she thinks it sounds better. You sent her cards and messages. The bouquet of syringe cases, gloves, and gauze still sits on her desk. She writes, "You are a very special group of people. You stand together. You support each other through the many trials that your class experienced. You stand in support of your college faculty and staff. You are a family. You inspire me to be better, and I've made lifelong friends in this class. I've loved being part of your education, and it's been an honor to get to know you. As a class and as individuals, you will be an asset to the field of veterinary medicine. Thank you for allowing me to get to know you." I don't know that anybody could have said it better. Colleagues, a few years ago, your mentors, family, and loved ones helped you put on a white coat. That coat symbolized your entry into this profession and the beginning of your journey toward full membership. At that time, we celebrated those who believed in you and supported you while you chased this dream. These people are still with you now, along with a whole lot of new friends and mentors you picked up along the way. Please take a minute to thank, text, hug, or message someone important to you this evening. Tonight, the CVM community honors you. You are now part of our family. You are part of our pack, and you always will be. I'd now like to take a moment to acknowledge my co-presenters in the leadership of the College of Veterinary Medicine. I am joined virtually by Dean Paul Lunn, the fourth Dean of the College of Veterinary Medicine, Dr. Steve Marks, Associate Dean and Director for Veterinary Medical Services, Dr. Barrett Slenning, Faculty Speaker and Associate Professor of Epidemiology and Ruminant Health in the Department of Population Health and Pathobiology, Dr. Matt Gerard, Teaching Professor of Anatomy in the Department of Molecular Biomedical Sciences, Dr. Abby Taylor, Assistant Clinical Professor of Primary Care in the Department of Clinical Sciences, Dr. Catherine Hamilton, member of the class of 2020. Dr. Jennifer Jones-Schultz, NCVMA president and owner of Emergency and Rehabilitation Services at Quartet Veterinary Specialty and Emergency Hospital of Cary, North Carolina, and proud 2009 graduate of this college. Dr. Joe Wiggins, member of the class of 2020. And Dr. Kate Muirs, Associate Dean of Research and Graduate Studies. I'd like to extend special acknowledgement and thanks to Dr. Diane Dunning, Mr. John Cole, Mr. Mike Charbonneau, Mr. Jeff Huckle, Mr. Dane Johnson, and the Student Services and Communications staff who helped to make this presentation happen this evening. I am now pleased to introduce Dr. Steve Marks, Educator and Associate Dean and Director of Veterinary Medical Services, for his remarks.
Good evening. On behalf of the staff, house officers, and faculty of the NC State Veterinary Hospital, it is my distinct honor to offer you congratulations on this momentous occasion. The class of 2020 has made history with its ability to overcome adversity, and for that, you will always be remembered. To you, your families, and friends, please remember tonight is just the beginning. It's the beginning of a career in an amazing profession. Our very best wishes, and whatever you pursue, continue to follow your passion. Congratulations.
Thank you so much, Dr. Marks. I am now pleased to introduce Dr. Barrett Slenning, who was selected by the class of 2020 to deliver the faculty address. A longtime faculty member at the college and leader of our celebrated Teaching Animal Unit curriculum, Dr. Slenning is known for his humor, kindness, and compassion. Dr. Slenning.
Thank you so much, Laura, for inviting me. And thank you to the class of 2020. Here we are. I really appreciate that you gave me the chance to give this talk, although I was a little surprised because I haven't seen a lot of you in the last year and a half. But those that I did see were typically just a quick pass through the corridors as you ran from one case to another. I also want to thank the class for its gift to the TAU, for your caring about the TAU, knowing, as everybody does, that the TAU is the pinnacle of the CVM's facilities and curricular program. Nonetheless, I was very humbled by it. And I'm also touched by the fact that you started the Samantha Lynn Scholarship. I was proud to be able to contribute to it, to help it become part of the College of Veterinary Medicine forevermore. I don't know if many of you remember when I first met Sam. I remember it. You probably don't, even though it happened right in front of you. It was your first week of your first semester in vet school, and I was there to teach you, to orient you about the Teaching Animal Unit, the pinnacle of the College of Veterinary Medicine. I was having problems with the AV system, and that's probably why you don't remember it, because I was just one of the early of many, many faculty you saw fumble in front of you as they were trying to get their lecture going. Sam and Josh were the two AV students to help us, and I remember Sam coming down the middle of the aisle of the classroom and setting herself very authoritatively in front of the computer to fix it. There was a little app that was running that took over everything, and you would click it off and then it would come right back, and you couldn't get to anything on the desktop, no PowerPoint, no anything. I was getting quite concerned that you guys would quickly realize that I was just a fraud and that this just would not go well for me. And I think Sam actually sensed I was feeling bad, and she looked up at me over her shoulder and flashed me that amazing smile. And she said, "It'll be okay. We'll get through this." And the words helped, but it was that smile that just made everything calm down. And it is that smile that I know now I will never be able to see again, and how much poorer I am for that. As Dr. Nelson mentioned, we already knew when you guys got here that you were important, that you were really successful. Those of us on the admissions committee saw average entering GPAs of 3.8. You guys had shown leadership. You guys had shown community service, many, many more things than I ever had to do to get into school. I wouldn't have been competitive in this class. You guys were not only competitive, but you got in. And you started that first year all excited. Some of you had achieved a goal you'd wanted since you were kids. And then we introduced you to the CVM curriculum, which is this fire hose of information that we pummeled you with for the next 3+ years. You started with physiology, histology, anatomy, that by partway through the first semester, you thought that all animals smelled of formaldehyde. You had infection and immunity, 1, 2, 3. I have no idea how many I&I courses you took, but you had communications, you had problem solving, and you had the best class series in the CVM, the TAU. Over the years, you went through anesthesiology, pathology, parasitology, pharmacology, surgery and medicine for all kinds of species that you'd never even heard of before, theriogenology, radiology, and the best class series of the CVM, the TAU. You had quizzes and exams, you had all kinds of assessments, you did numbers of surveys, you had so many surveys to do. You got to be guinea pigs for a variety of educational software and teaching methods. You got to take part in amazing lectures and activities, and maybe one or more interminably boring lectures, but none at the TAU. Then came clinics. Animals did not show up with multiple choice answers on their sides. You just kind of had to figure it out. And they came with people. Who knew? Clients. These people you had to explain things to. You sometimes had to console them, and you often had to show levels of confidence you really didn't think you had at the time. But it was okay. You got through it. This class had other stuff to get through, not involved with the curriculum. You started in fall of 2016 when 2 viruses, Zika and Ebola, were hammering different hemispheres of the planet. You started in the spring of 2017, just your second semester, with school having to close because of a snowstorm, and everyone's schedules got all mixed up. Everyone had to be flexible. You rolled with it. Later that year, we experienced a near total solar eclipse, and that was amazing, an experience we all got to share. You started spring of 2018 with, guess what? Another snowstorm closing the school, and we had to shuffle everything around. But it wasn't until September of 2018, fall of your 3rd year, that we really got hit. Hurricane Florence came and pummeled the state for days on end. We had to close the school for four days, but you got through it. It was okay. And in fact, not only did you get through it, many of you participated in the response and the recovery, showing that most important aspect of being a veterinarian, that is caring and being able to deliver care when and where it's needed. Compared to all the other years, 2019 was quiet, really pretty quiet. Well, there was that one little case report that came out on the last day of the year talking about a series of severe pneumonias of unknown etiology out of Wuhan, China. Little did we know how important that would turn out to be for us. We went through January and February with more cases showing up, with the World Health Organization going from a public health emergency through a full pandemic. And eventually we had to shut down the CVM in mid-March to normal classwork. And I put it up to you, and I put it up to our administration, including the lead of our academics, Dr. Nelson, and all the faculty involved, that we took this great big jumbo jet we call the CVM curriculum and figured out how to completely rehab it while it was in flight. Once again, you guys got to be guinea pigs in doing something that none of us really had much idea how to go about it, but it was okay. You got through it. Looking back, I spent almost 9 years in a mixed animal practice in California before I came here. I thought there were few things that could be so rewarding as being in practice. It was trying at times, yes. Exhausting at times, without a doubt, but it was rewarding almost always, or so I thought. Then I came to NCSU and I started working with students, you guys. And I started working with some of the most dedicated, some of the smartest, some of the most resilient people on the planet. You're the ones who taught me what rewarding the word really means. And I thank you for giving me 4 years of such a rewarding experience. So here we are. We got through it. We'll get through what's coming. What happens now? Well, now you go out. Now you make a difference. Now you have fun. I tip my hat to the class of 2020. Congratulations.
Thank you so much, Dr. Slenning. In less weird times, the class of 2020 would now be called to walk across the stage to have a hood placed over their gowns. This hood, originally intended to keep scholars warm in drafty monasteries, would have come in pretty handy in some of our lecture halls over the past few years. Each class selects 2 faculty to perform the hooding ceremony each year. Though we won't be able to replicate all elements of this experience this evening, we are grateful to have Dr. Matt Gerard and Dr. Abby Taylor with us to introduce the DVM graduates.
Thank you, Dr. Nelson. G'day, class of 2020. I recall your white coat ceremony back in the fall of 2016. And what a privilege it was to be part of that special event, the start of your DVM program. And now this evening, 3 years and approximately 9 months later, it's my distinct honor and absolute pleasure to be with you and to recognize your accomplishments, to congratulate you on everything you've achieved, and to cheer you on as you enter your professional career paths. I'll be reading the names of the first 50 graduates this evening, and Dr. Abby Taylor will conclude with the second half of the class. Now, class of 2020, you've chosen an Aussie bloke and an English lady to read this evening. And as you know, in veterinary medicine, everything's mild to moderate to severe in classification. So I thought I should mention mild to moderate apologies for any altered vowel sounds as we go along. Okay, with that said, let's get started. Nicole Allison is from Wilmington, North Carolina, has small animal interests, and Nicole will be joining Broad River Animal Hospital in Weaverville, North Carolina, alongside her mother, Dr. Kathleen Allison. Natalie Chilton Andrews of Raleigh, North Carolina. Natalie has equine interests and is beginning an internship at Woodside Equine Clinic in Ashland, Virginia. Catherine Ray Ballard of Wendell, North Carolina has small animal interests, and Catherine will be joining Banfield Pet Hospital in Wake Forest, North Carolina. Danielle Barnes. Danielle's from Greensboro, North Carolina, has small animal interests, and Danielle is beginning a rotating internship with Red Bank Veterinary Hospital in Tinton Falls, New Jersey. Micah Barron. Micah's from Boone, North Carolina, has small animal interests, and Micah is beginning a rotating small animal internship at the Veterinary Specialty Hospital of the Carolinas. Allison Michelle Bokum from Salisbury, North Carolina, has small animal interests and is joining Brown Creek Animal Hospital in Polkton, North Carolina. Ashlyn Terry Beasley of Sanford, North Carolina, has equine interests and small animal interests, and Ashlyn is joining Banfield Pet Hospital in Morrisville, North Carolina. Catherine Amanda Bole. Catherine is from Martinez, Georgia, has small animal interests, and is also joining a Banfield Pet Hospital, this one in Cary, North Carolina. Rebecca Bolton of Pittsburgh, North Carolina, Rebecca has interest in zoological medicine and is currently exploring her options. Ashley Boer. Ashley's from Charleston, West Virginia, has mixed animal interests and is beginning a rotating internship at the University of Pennsylvania School of Veterinary Medicine in Philadelphia. Jewel Lynn Bremer. Jewel's from Zebulon, North Carolina, has food animal interests and is working for Select Genetics in Wadesboro, North Carolina. Jordan Kennedy Briggs of Raleigh, North Carolina, has mixed animal interests and is joining the Scarlet Mobile Large Animal Services in Ashbury, North Carolina. Jada Bussey Spratling is from Raleigh, North Carolina, has lab animal interests and is joining Banfield Pet Hospital in Charlotte, North Carolina. Holly Joy Capps. Holly's from Princeton, North Carolina, has mixed animal interests and is joining the Wayland Animal Clinic in Mount Olive, North Carolina. Kayla Marie Castellins is from Hamptonville, North Carolina, has food animal interests, and Kayla is joining the Country View Family Farms in Middleton, Pennsylvania. Blake Richard Chupetta. Blake is from Medford, New Jersey, small animal interests, and is joining the Animal Clinic of Hamilton in New Jersey. Dallas Mackenzie Clontz. Dallas is from Monroe, North Carolina, has interests in pathology, and is beginning an internship at Texas A&M University in College Station, Texas. Sophia N. Crum. Sophia is from Raleigh, North Carolina, has mixed animal interests, and will be working for the United States Army. Nicole DeAngelis. Nicole's from Brooklyn, New York, has small animal interests and will be starting with Leyland Veterinary Hospital in Leyland, North Carolina. David J. DePiero. David's from Newbern, North Carolina, has small animal interests and will begin his career with Highsmith Animal Hospital in Wilmington, North Carolina. Lauren V. Irick. Lauren's from Walnut Creek, California, and has equine interests and is currently pursuing opportunities. Miriam Wayman Firth. Miriam's from Monroe, North Carolina, has mixed animal interests and will be working with the United States Army. Alexis Page Fisher. Alexis is from Charlotte, North Carolina, has small animal interests, and is going to be working for Cross Point Animal Hospital in Fairfax Station, Virginia. Morgan Scout Fitch. Morgan's from Cherryville, North Carolina, has mixed animal interests and will be working with St. Francis 24-Hour Animal Hospital in Vancouver, Washington. Samantha Frabel. Samantha's from Saylorsburg, Pennsylvania, has equine interests and will be beginning an internship program with Mid-Atlantic Equine Medical Center in Ringgoes, New Jersey. Justin Lewis Freeby. Justin's from Lehighton, Pennsylvania, has small and exotic animal interests and will be working with Mahoning Valley Animal Hospital in Andreas, Pennsylvania. Jennifer Lee Falk is from Statesville, North Carolina, Jennifer has small animal interests and is currently exploring her options. Kelly Nicole Gherkin. Kelly's from Goldsboro, North Carolina. Her interests are in epidemiology, and Kelly is starting a program with Stanford University in Palo Alto, California. Gabriel A. Gonzalez. Gabriel's from Kissimmee, Florida. Has equine interests and will be beginning his internship program with Allegheny Equine Associates in Murraysville, Pennsylvania. Avery Goho Gottwald is from High Point, North Carolina. Avery has mixed animal interests and will be joining the Triangle Veterinary Hospital in Durham, North Carolina. Stephen Gregory. Stephen's from Winston-Salem, North Carolina, has small animal interests and will be joining the small animal and will be beginning a small animal rotating internship at Iowa State University in Ames, Iowa. Thomas R. Gronick. Thomas is also from Winston-Salem, North Carolina, has small animal interests and is currently pursuing opportunities. Catherine Ann Hamilton. Catherine's from Ford City, Pennsylvania, has food animal interests and is joining the Animal Hospital of Waterford in Pennsylvania. Amanda K. Hampton. Amanda's from Waxhaw, North Carolina, has small animal interests and is joining the Skeet Club Veterinary Hospital of High Point, North Carolina. Amanda R. Henley of Raleigh, North Carolina. Amanda has small animal interests and is joining the Warwick Animal Hospital in Warwick, Rhode Island. Rebecca Stannard Healy. Rebecca's from Louisville, Kentucky, has small animal interests and will be joining Long Trail Veterinary Center in Williston, Vermont. Matthew Cole Hefner. Matthew is from Newton, North Carolina, has mixed animal interests and will be joining the Las Posas Veterinary Medical Center in Camarillo, California. Kristen Dawn Henson is from Winston-Salem, North Carolina. Kristen has small animal interests and will be beginning an internship in small animal medicine and surgery at the Animal Medical Hospital and 24-hour urgent care in Charlotte, North Carolina. Clarissa Hernandez is from Winston-Salem, North Carolina. Clarissa has interests in zoological medicine and will begin with a general practice and emergency internship in small and exotics at Conejo Valley Veterinary Hospital in Thousand Oaks, California. Jennifer Lorraine Haywood. Jennifer's from West Jefferson, North Carolina, has small and exotic animal interests and will begin an internship at the University of Wisconsin School of Vet Med in Madison, Wisconsin. Nicole Elizabeth Heimball. Nicole's from Mount Pleasant, South Carolina, has small and exotic animal interests and is beginning a rotating internship in small animal medicine and surgery at Ohio State University in Columbus, Ohio. Kelly Elizabeth Holden. Kelly's from Wake Forest, North Carolina, has interest in small animal and will be joining Complete Pet Care Animal Hospital at Falls Point here in Raleigh. Amanda Huffman is from Durham here in North Carolina. Amanda has interest in pathology and will be joining the zoological pathology program at the University of Illinois in Urbana, Champaign, Illinois. Victoria Eisler. Victoria is from Harrisburg, North Carolina, has small animal interests and will be joining Vets Pets in Wilson, North Carolina. Laura Jackson from Suffolk, Virginia. Laura has food animal interests and will be joining the Animal Hospital of Plainville, Kansas. Christian J. Colwell. Christian's from Wilmington, North Carolina, has small animal interests and will be joining a country veterinary clinic in Wilmington, North Carolina. Jonathan Ting Lai. Jonathan's from Durham, North Carolina, has mixed animal interests and will be joining the Clayton Animal Hospital in Clayton, North Carolina. Abby Lane. Abby's from Salisbury, North Carolina, has equine interests, and Abby will be joining Pineview Veterinary Hospital in Bolton, North Carolina. Taylor Locklear. Taylor's from Fuquay-Varina, North Carolina, and has interests in zoological medicine. Taylor's beginning a large animal rotating internship at the University of Tennessee in Knoxville. Sarah Martin Long. Sarah's from Raleigh, North Carolina, has interest in lab animal, and will be beginning her professional career with Roxborough Animal Hospital in Roxborough, North Carolina. And that's our first 50 graduates. Let me take this moment to pass on many heartfelt congratulations to all in the class of 2020 and virtual hugs and handshakes. Welcome, colleagues, to this most amazing profession of veterinary medicine. And now, over to you, Dr. Taylor.
Thank you, Dr. Gerard. Congratulations to the first half of the class of 2020. I'll echo Matt's comments and apologize in advance if I anglicize your name while I read it out. Now it is my great privilege and honor to introduce you to the remaining doctors and welcome them to this fabulous profession. Ashley Michaela Martin. Ashley comes from Star, North Carolina, has followed a food animal focus, and is currently pursuing opportunities for practice. Christopher A. Masterson. Christopher comes from Chapel Hill, North Carolina, has studied a focus of zoological medicine, and will be completing a small animal medicine and surgery rotating internship with the Veterinary Specialty Center of Seattle. Amanda Maxwell. Amanda comes from Glenarm in Maryland, has had a lab animal focus, and will be pursuing a clinical fellowship in laboratory animal medicine at Johns Hopkins University in Baltimore, Maryland. Megan McLear. Megan comes from Waxhaw, North Carolina, has been focusing on small animal practice, and will be practicing at Banfield Pet Hospital in Charlotte, North Carolina. Allison Christine McFadden. Ali comes from Winston-Salem, North Carolina, has a focus in small animals, and will be practicing at the Heart of Brooklyn Veterinary Hospital in Brooklyn, New York. Harry McLam Snow. Harry hails from Dobson, North Carolina, has a small animal focus, and will be practicing at Bunn Animal Hospital of Bunn, North Carolina. Isabella A. McMillan. Isabella comes from Waynesville, North Carolina, has a small animal focus, and will be practicing at the Animal Hospital of Carrboro, North Carolina. Rachel McNeil. Rachel comes from North Carolina, Raleigh, the city of Raleigh, has a small animal focus, and will be pursuing a small animal rotating internship with the Columbia Veterinary Emergency Trauma and Specialty Center in Columbia, South Carolina. Chandler Browning Mercer. Chandler comes from Charlotte, North Carolina, has a small animal focus, and will be practicing at South Park Animal Hospital in Charlotte, North Carolina. Andrew R. Miller. Andrew comes from Hillsborough, North Carolina, has a focus in zoological medicine, and is currently pursuing opportunities for practice. Juliana Mills Picard. Juliana hails from Arlington, Massachusetts, has a focus in small animal practice, and will be pursuing an internship in small animal medicine and surgery with the Angel Animal Medical Center in Boston, Massachusetts. Elizabeth Garland Noble. Elizabeth comes from Gastonia in North Carolina, has a food animal focus, and will be practicing at the Mashoffs in Carlisle, Illinois. Amy Michelle Flau. Amy comes from La Plata in Maryland and will be working with the United States Army Veterinary Corps at the Joint Base Lewis McChord in Washington State. Victoria Riggs. Victoria comes from Raleigh, North Carolina, has a small animal and exotic focus, and will be taking part in a small animal medicine and surgery rotating internship with the University of Florida College of Veterinary Medicine in Gainesville, Florida. Jesse Anthony Riker. Jesse comes from High Point, North Carolina, has a focus in pathology, and will be completing a small animal medicine and surgery internship with the Virginia Maryland College of Veterinary Medicine in Blacksburg, Virginia. Maria Rodriguez. Maria comes from Raleigh, North Carolina, has a small animal focus, and is currently pursuing opportunities for practice. Graham Christopher Rossi. Graham comes from Ponte Vedra Beach in Florida, has a small animal focus, and will be completing an internship at the University of Wisconsin School of Veterinary Medicine in Madison, Wisconsin. Melanie Elizabeth Runkle. Melanie comes from Charlotte, North Carolina, has an equine focus, and will be working with Doctera Mobile Veterinary Services in Vail, North Carolina. William Nolan Shaw. William Nolan comes from Weatherville, North Carolina, has a small animal focus, and will be completing a rotating small animal internship with the Veterinary Specialty Hospital in the Carolinas in Cary, North Carolina. Sahar Sheikh Ahmed comes from Raleigh, North Carolina, and has been pursuing a lab animal focus, and she will be practicing at the Banfield Pet Hospital in Chicago, Illinois. Christopher Simpkins. Christopher comes from Greensboro, North Carolina, has a small animal focus, and will be practicing at Morrisville Cat Hospital in Morrisville, North Carolina. Tia M. Simon. Tia comes from Clayton, North Carolina, has been studying a food animal focus, and will be practicing at the Lander Veterinary Clinic in Turlock, California. Catherine Megan Cinco. Catherine comes from Beach Haven in New Jersey, has a small animal focus, and will be practicing at the Stafford Veterinary Hospital in Manahawk in New Jersey. Ronald Tyrone Smith II. Ty comes from Charlotte, North Carolina, has a focus in zoological medicine, and will be completing a small animal rotating internship with the Blue Pearl Veterinary Hospital in Sandy Springs, Georgia. Ashley Renee Souza. Ashley comes from Raleigh, North Carolina, has been focusing on zoological medicine, and will be completing a small animal medicine and surgery rotating internship at the University of Illinois College of Veterinary Medicine in Urbana-Champaign, Illinois. Shannon Steiner. Shannon comes from Garner, North Carolina, has a focus in small animal, and will be practicing at Banfield Pet Hospital in Knightdale, North Carolina. Caitlin Stempion. Caitlin comes from Raleigh, North Carolina, has a small animal and exotic focus, and is currently exploring options for practice. Mitch Stevens. Mitch hails from Charlotte, North Carolina, has been focusing in small animal and exotic medicine, and will be completing a small animal emergency and specialty internship with Anne Arundel Veterinary Emergency Clinic in Maryland. Micah G. Stockwell Goring. Micah comes from Waynesville, North Carolina, has been pursuing a lab animal focus while studying here, and will be practicing at the Pantops Veterinary Hospital in Charlottesville, Virginia. Reagan Marie Stoneburner. Reagan comes from Greenville, North Carolina, has been pursuing a small animal focus, and will be undertaking a small animal medicine and surgery rotating internship at the University of Illinois College of Veterinary Medicine in Urbana-Champaign, Illinois. Vinita Sue. Vinita comes from Raleigh, North Carolina, has been focusing on small animals, and is currently exploring options for practice. Chelsea Gerhardt Swain. Chelsea comes from Columbia, North Carolina, has been focusing on mixed animals. We're working at Banfield Pet Hospital in Apex, North Carolina. Where should we be? Rachel Ann Thiemann comes from Wilmington, North Carolina, has been studying with a food animal focus, and will be practicing at Pearl Veterinary Diagnostic Laboratory in Pearl, Mississippi. Francis S. Torres Otero. Francis comes from Caguas, Puerto Rico. Apologies if I didn't pronounce that correctly. Has been focusing on small animal studies, and will be completing an internship in small animal medicine and surgery at the Purdue University College of Veterinary Medicine in West Lafayette in Indiana. Jeffrey David Tyrrell. Jeffrey comes from Cary, North Carolina, has been focusing on zoological medicine, and will be practicing at the Coots Research Lab at the University of Calgary in Alberta, Canada. Hannah Lee Fornell. Hannah comes from Greensboro, North Carolina, has been focusing on epidemiology, and will be practicing at the Virginia, Maryland College of Veterinary Medicine in Blacksburg, Virginia. Galen Melora Vosler. Galen comes from Cranford, New Jersey, has been focusing on epidemiology, and will be working with the USDA Food Safety Inspection Service. Mara Catherine Wade. Mara comes from Raleigh, North Carolina, has had a small and exotic animal focus, and will be practicing at a VCA practice, the Old Town Animal Hospital in Alexandria, Virginia. Elizabeth Wall. Elizabeth comes from New Bern, North Carolina, has a small animal focus, and is currently pursuing opportunities for practice. Jenna Lee Washburn. Jenna comes from Shelby, North Carolina, has a small animal focus, and is currently exploring opportunities for practice. Sarah Helen Wieland. Sarah comes from Chapel Hill, North Carolina, has a small animal focus, and will be practicing at a VCA practice, the Merrimack practice of Williamsburg, Virginia. Joseph Emmanuel Wiggins. Joe comes from Salisbury, North Carolina, and will be practicing with a small animal focus and is currently pursuing opportunities for practice. Nathan Williams. Nathan comes from Manson, North Carolina. He's been studying with a small animal focus and is currently exploring options for practice. Allison Wilson. Allison comes from Raleigh, North Carolina, has a small animal focus and will be practicing in small animals at the Rollsville Veterinary Hospital of Rollsville, North Carolina. Janelle Marie Weisner. Janelle comes from Vandergrift, Pennsylvania, has been studying with a food animal focus and will be pursuing opportunities for practice. Mandy Ashton Womble. Mandy comes from Raleigh, North Carolina, has been studying with a focus in zoological medicine and will be working with the pathology department at NC State College of Veterinary Medicine. Shanna Wong. Shanna hails from New York, has been studying with a small animal and exotics focus and will be practicing at a small animal medicine and surgery rotating internship at the Animal Medical Center of New York in Manhattan, New York. Joshua Zlotnick. Joshua comes from Abington, Pennsylvania, has been studying with a small animal and exotic focus, and will be practicing small animal medicine in Raleigh, North Carolina. Madeline Ann Zarowski. Madeline comes from Fayetteville, North Carolina, has been studying a small animal focus, will be practicing at the Carolina Ranch Animal Hospital and Pet Resort in Garner, North Carolina. Congratulations, class of 2020. It has been so wonderful to get to know each and every one of you over the past 4 years. I will miss you all immensely. Please keep in touch as you embark upon your careers. Hugs and socially distanced air kisses to all of you, doctors. Now I'll introduce Dean Paul Lunn, who is going to recognize and honor Samantha Lynn.
Thank you, Dr. Taylor. It is my privilege at this time to recognize Dr. Samantha Lynn, who is graduating today with her friends as a member of the class of 2020. I'd like to extend a particular welcome to Dr. Lynn's family, including her sister, Michelle, her mother, Susan Chow, and her father, Wei Ming Lin, and to any other family members and friends who are joining our college community for this ceremony tonight. We lost Sam to a tragic accident in early August of 2019, just after she turned 25 years of age. Sam was committed to becoming a veterinarian from the earliest age, and we were incredibly fortunate that she came to North Carolina to achieve this goal, which has been accomplished here tonight. Honored throughout her college career for outstanding academic accomplishments, Sam is even better known for her spirit, her generosity, her humor, and her kindness. I am reminded of the power of Sam's writing and thinking. It was never more obvious than in the personal statement in her vet school application, a brilliant description of the process of clinical diagnosis, and from someone who had not yet begun formal training. As we look to our futures, it is our responsibility, each one of us, to strive to accomplish some part of what this amazing person would have done themselves if fate had allowed. Last summer, we faced the terrible tragedy of Sam's death, but tonight we celebrate her brilliant accomplishment, earning the degree she sought for her whole life, and continuing to own a place in our hearts for as long as we shall live. I urge you all to take heart from her example. Nobody would cheer louder for the class of 2020 than Sam. She stands with you today and always. This will make you stronger, so keep her memory close. We have established the Samantha Lynn Endowed Scholarship in Sam's memory as our gift to the class of 2020 in honor of their accomplishment. Members of the class have contributed personally to this scholarship, giving almost $8,000, which means the value of this endowment tonight is over $65,000. It is now my honor to recognize Dr. Catherine Hamilton of the class of 2020, who will share her own words about Dr. Samantha Lynn and also read a statement from Sam's family.
Thank you, Dean Lund. Sam was not only a classmate, but a friend, a mentor, a confidant, and a part of our family. Some of our peers have chosen superlatives for her that we will carry forward in our memories, like Tiny But Mighty, Award for the Fastest Typer, Best Eye Twitch, and Best Teacher of Treatment Protocols for ICU and IMC. There is no doubt that we are all saddened that she did not finish this 4-year-long marathon with us, but we will forever hold her in our hearts. I am honored to speak on behalf of Sam's family this evening. Sam's sister Michelle and her parents would like to share the following. Sam was truly an extraordinary person. She was witty, generous, dazzlingly intelligent, relentlessly hardworking, and ferociously devoted to her love of animals in the practice of veterinary medicine. We will always miss her, and we would like to extend our heartfelt thanks and appreciation to the CVM family for your generosity and thoughtfulness in remembering Sam, in honoring her at your recent awards ceremony, and in posthumously granting her diploma with the degree of Doctor of Veterinary Medicine. Her most cherished childhood dream is finally coming true.
Thank you so much, Dr. Hamilton. Now for a very important part of our program. I am pleased to introduce Dr. Jennifer Jones Schultz, who will lead the DVM class of 2020 in the Veterinarian's Oath.
Hi, everyone, and thank you, Dr. Nelson. I'm honored to be here digitally tonight and so glad the college was able to find a way to honor your amazing achievement. I've had the privilege of working with many of you over the last 4 years, and your enthusiasm and dedication to our profession is fantastic. I look forward to seeing your positive impact in the communities you're going to serve, and hopefully in working with organized veterinary medicine as well. As you move forward in your career, remember that the veterinary community is here to support each one of you, whether you work in a single doctor practice or in a large specialty practice. Welcome to the best profession, to the Wolfpack veterinary family, and I hope to see you at an NCVMA event soon. Graduates, please turn on your audio and video and stand for the veterinarian's oath. Allow me to recite a line and repeat after me. Audience can follow along. They can. Being admitted to the profession of veterinary medicine.
To the profession of veterinary medicine.
To the profession of veterinary medicine.
I solemnly swear
To use
my scientific knowledge and skills.
I solemnly swear to use
Knowledge and skills.
my scientific knowledge and skills.
Scientific knowledge and skills.
I solemnly swear to use my scientific knowledge
benefit of society through the protection of animal health and welfare.
Benefit of society
for the benefit of animal health and welfare, the protection of animal health and welfare,
Prevention and relief.
and relief of animal suffering, the conservation of animal resources, the promotion of public health, the advancement of medical knowledge, of animal suffering. I will practice
Medical
my
resources,
profession conscientiously of animal resources,
practice my profession, practice
veterinary medical ethics, except as a lifelong
veterinary
obligation
medical
to
profession,
continual
the principles of
improvement
veterinary
of
medical ethics,
knowledge.
Obligation
with the principles of veterinary medical
Lifelong
ethics,
obligation.
Improvement of my professional knowledge.
lifelong
knowledge
obligation,
and
the
competence.
continual improvement of my professional knowledge and competence.
Continual improvement of professional knowledge and
I accept as a lifelong obligation. Continual improvement of my professional knowledge.
Disclosure of veterinary medicine. Everyone is doing it right now. Sources.
Yeah.
Woo! Done. Love you all. Love you.
Me encanta. Ese es Goofy ladrando. Ese es Goofy, ese es el ladrido de Goofy.
That's good.
Thank you, Dr. Jones Schultz. That was memorable and amazing. It's now my pleasure to introduce Dr. Joe Wiggins and also to congratulate all of you who are now formally doctors of veterinary medicine. Every year, each graduating class selects a member of their cohort to deliver remarks following the oath. This year, we're so pleased to feature Dr. Joe Wiggins. Go ahead, Joe.
Thank you, Dr. Nelson. Good evening, everyone. I would like to thank my wonderful colleagues for blessing me with the opportunity to be your class graduation speaker. It truly warms my heart to be elected for such a prestigious honor. Next, I would like to thank the faculty, staff, doctors, and everyone involved that put in an extreme effort to allow the students to continue our education and graduate on time during these troubling and uncertain days. Lastly, I would like to thank my beautiful family for preparing me for this moment. Each and every one of you played a crucial role in helping me ascend to where I am now, and I love you so much for that. At this moment, I will now deliver a speech that I feel encapsulates my colleagues and I's inspiration for, dedication to, and passion for the field of veterinary medicine. First, I'm going to talk about myself for a little bit. I am Joseph Emmanuel Wiggins. I come from the small city of Salisbury, North Carolina. There, my brother Augustine and I were raised by our amazing grandparents, Vera and Ernest Wiggins. They developed us into young men and allowed us to pursue our aspirations. While the stubborn but independent and resolute Augustine was maturing into the sports agent that he would eventually become, I, who was shy and reserved, found myself fascinated with animals. From playing with our pet dogs to sitting on the porch after school waiting for the stray cats that my grandma would feed to come play with me, my love for animals slowly grew. I decided that I wanted to be a veterinarian at a fairly young age. However, many people who love animals do not necessarily become or even want to become a veterinarian. I was not truly inspired by the profession until I had my first opportunity to work in an animal hospital. Before I actually knew what it was, I was inspired by witnessing what a great VCPR looks like. VCPR means veterinarian client patient relationship, which is the basis for any interaction between a veterinarian pet and their owner. On many occasions, I have been a part of the satisfaction that a veterinarian and staff has after resolving a complicated case. The result is a patient nurtured back to good health, which leads to a relieved and grateful client. Being able to facilitate that is what really sparked my inspiration for veterinary medicine, is what I continue to strive for to this day. I mentioned all of this to address my colleagues and say, remember that spark that started you on this journey. Solidify it and let it be your foundation moving forward, for it will always serve as a place for your feet to land on if you ever forget why you are doing this. Next, I would like to talk about our dedication to this profession. My fellow colleagues, as many of you remember, when entering vet school, some of us experienced a condition called imposter syndrome. It is a feeling that has some of us questioning whether or not we deserve to be in this veterinary program, even though we were meticulously chosen to be here. This is an understandable feeling since it is human nature to have doubts and fears. But what makes us special is our ability to overcome them, especially if they stand in the way of our goals and aspirations. I am so proud to stand alongside you all and say that we were able to accomplish that. Think about it. During our first year, we were petrified about how we would perform in our anatomy class. We did not cower in that fear. Well, maybe just a little bit. But we followed that up by spending many nights of inhaling fumes from formalin-soaked cadavers to study for upcoming exams. As we progressed through our curriculum, we were faced with new frightening challenges that we had to overcome. For many hours, we strained our eyes in front of computer screens to interpret radiographic findings that it would seem only our senior radiologists could interpret. During our Dalton clinical year, we forced our bodies out of bed at 5 a.m. on days in to take care of our ICU patients' morning treatments while even being on call for some of these days as well. Each and every one of us has the dedication to not only survive in this profession, but excel in it as well. So when you are faced with your next unnerving trial, which you will, I know that you will do whatever it takes to surpass that one too. Now I would like to speak on the passion that we all have. Now I would like to speak on the passion we all have that will lead us into amazing careers as doctors of veterinary medicine. My dear colleagues, though it may seem like this is the pinnacle of our success, graduating vet school is merely a stepping stone required to achieve our dreams. We all have a goal that inspired us to start this journey. We have also shown how our dedication will not let anything prevent us from achieving it. Now we stand here today with the ability to seize it. And with that being said, I am proud to know that some of my colleagues will go on to help develop a new groundbreaking vaccine that will strengthen prevention medicine. I am proud to know that some of you will become great epidemiologists who will maximize global health. I'm proud to know that some of my other colleagues will become excellent surgeons and emergencies clinicians who will save thousands of patients in times of dire need. I am also proud to be one of the many great general practitioners that will serve as the first line of doctors for veterinary care. Finally, I am proud to know that I was a part of the same graduation class that would have had the greatest veterinary board certified oncologic surgeon that this world has ever seen in Dr. Samantha Lynn. We love you, Sam, and know that you are here saving this moment with us. Your passion for veterinary medicine lit a fire in all of us. If there had to be any one of us to graduate, it definitely would have been you. We love you, Sam. Before I end my speech, I want to discuss the battles that some of us may face. Though I talked about my confidence in every one of you, I know that some challenges can be too much to handle by yourself, especially in a profession where burnout and compassion fatigue exists. During moments when it feels like the weight of the world is on your shoulders, I would like for you to think of a Ghanaian proverb used as the moral of the story of the Sankofa that I will share with you now. It is not taboo to go back and fetch that which you have forgotten. Since proverbs do not have a sole meaning, I ask of you all to think of what that proverb means to you. What it means to me is that throughout life, we have relied on many resources, lessons, and people to help us grow. And though we are evolving and maturing with each passing day, it is not discouraged to rely on them for your future endeavors as well. So as we enter our careers, please remember that it is not taboo to reach out to our professors for questions on a complicated case. It is not taboo to call seeking guidance from one of your mentors who gave you advice before and during vet school. It is not taboo to call on one of your colleagues to vent about your frustrations about a tough month of work. It is not taboo to get a good laugh from some of your childhood and college friends who became your brothers to brighten your day. It is not taboo to take a trip down memory lane with your beautiful spouse who helps you get through both undergraduate and vet school. It is not taboo to call on your little big brother and check how satisfying it is for us to be able to achieve our childhood dreams. And then finally, it is not taboo to go back home to be greeted with a warm embrace and eat a deliciously home-cooked meal with your superhero grandparents. I thank you all for this honor and not only wish you all an amazing career, but an amazing life as well. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Dr. Wiggins. I am now pleased to introduce Dr. Kate Mears, our Associate Dean of Research and Graduate Studies, to recognize graduates of our Comparative Biomedical Sciences graduate programs. Dr. Mears.
Thank you, Dr. Nelson. Good evening. The college is also celebrating the degree of 3 students receiving their PhDs in Comparative Biomedical Sciences this evening. This includes Captain and Dr. Andy Kick, who was advised by Dr. Toby Kaiser and Dr. Glenn Almond, Dr. Eric Lay, who was mentored and advised by Dr. Mike Nolan and Dr. Duncan LaSalles, and Dr. Marika Williams, who was mentored by Dr. Duncan LaSalles. Congratulations to all of you receiving your degrees this evening.
Thank you, Dr. Mears, and congratulations to our CBS graduates. I am now pleased to reintroduce and pass the program on to Dean Paul Lund. Before I do so, I'd like to share my final congratulations to the class of 2020 and my gratitude for everyone, including loved ones, family, friends, classmates, staff, who have helped these graduates along their way. Building on the very stirring and wonderful words of Dr. Wiggin, we are always here for you. We look forward to seeing you in person, hopefully this year and also in years to come. And please reach out with anything that you need, or even just to say hello. We miss you greatly. Without further ado, Dean Lund.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you again for joining us tonight when we recognize and celebrate the accomplishments of our DVM and graduate students. It's a privilege for all of us at the college to be part of the education of these outstanding clinicians and scientists. The stars of the night are our new DVM graduates, the class of 2020. Although they are happy and proud to graduate, many of us have mixed feelings about seeing them go. It is a special privilege to participate in the process of students becoming veterinarians. Veterinary education is a rewarding, perhaps even addictive occupation. Meet any incoming class. While they seem young, their talent and ambition are intimidating. Professors privately question whether they will meet their students' expectations. Well, veterinary students are generous enough to let us try, so we struggle with them as they master this profession And finally, we come to realize they have matched and more often surpassed our own accomplishments. This experience does not get old. It renews itself every year. This may explain why at this point in my life, I've attended veterinary school for 41 years. I've never wanted to leave, so why should the class of 2020? Last year in August, I started to believe that it might be a good thing if the class of 2020 was the last one I saw graduate in this job. It is not because I've lost my love for this work. It's more simply because I think this is the class I'd be very happy to remember as my last. In reality, I've no reason to think I'm heading for the exit, but what a class this has been. They have weathered storms with grace. They have shown us the path forwards more than once when we could not find it alone. And now they move on. It should be no surprise that their departure leaves us feeling some regret. So on behalf of the faculty, staff, and house officers, I want to thank you for your hard work over these 4 years. You've made everyone very proud by what you've accomplished. We envy you for what is coming next. You're going to have an incredible experience in your careers. Tomorrow, the stakes go up. Your influence and impact as leaders will be immediately significant. What you say and do will no longer just impact how people see you, it will have a growing impact on how people model their own behavior. Look around you at work. Think about how your values and behavior can affect others. I have no concerns. You are likely the best we have ever known. So we are living through extraordinary and unforeseen times. There's so much uncertainty and anxiety. There's also a lot of time to read. So one of the books I've read in the last few weeks was entitled The Splendid and the Vile by a guy called Erik Larson. It's the story of Winston Churchill and his eccentric family during the Blitz in the Second World War. The Blitz was the bombing campaign against London and other British cities that ran from 9 months from September 1940. On the one hand, it is a tale of horror, but it is also a tale of resilience, fortitude, and bravery. Reading it during our crisis made me feel better. It was reassuring. Well, how can that be? It's a horror story, right? Well, I know the ending. We all do. We win. It is no small coincidence that today is May the 8th, the 75th anniversary of victory in Europe for the Allies. My sister was actually born this night. It made me think about my parents who lived through the Blitz with so much uncertainty and likely fear. How remarkable and how rare an experience to live in such dangerous times. But then I thought more about our graduating class and realized that some of the parents and families of our new graduates have themselves had to live through uncertainty while their daughters and sons served in foreign wars before they came to this vet school. Today, all of us share a feeling of uncertainty as we work to overcome the global COVID-19 pandemic. I cannot be certain of how we will do it. And I certainly don't know the final cost, but victory will be ours. So who will make this happen? Who are going to be the heroes in this conflict? Tough to predict, but earlier this week, some more reading, and I read about one such leader in a New Yorker article just this week. Just after the end of the Second World War, a young man called Gulab Dini Khan trekked from Kashmiri, Pakistan to Bombay, which is called Mumbai today. He lied about his age and got a job on a ship that took him to America. As a new immigrant, he shoveled coal into apartment boilers in Boston, saved and started a family and had a son called Ali. Mr. Khan was able to send his son to Brooklyn College and then to SUNY for medical school. Today, Dr. Ali Khan leads a college of public health in Omaha. Previously, He was a leader in the CDC and fought infectious disease outbreaks all over the world. In 1995, he helped stop the Ebola outbreak in Kikwit in Zaire, which today is the Democratic Republic of Congo, a disease he again fought in Uganda in 2001. In March of 2003, Ali Khan arrived in Singapore to fight SARS-CoV-1. He helped develop the winning strategy. The oft-told story is that the first SARS epidemic burned out after infecting 8,000 people. It didn't burn out, it was stopped by people like Dr. Ali Khan. So I loved reading this story. It reminded me of another book I'd read about outbreaks, so I dug it up off our bookshelves. Turns out that the same guy wrote it as wrote the magazine article. The book is called Spillover. It's by David Quammen, and it was published in 2012. It's a factual story, chapter by chapter, of horrific zoonotic outbreaks, emerging diseases like Hendra, Ebola, avian influenza, and Lyme disease. Now, it's a human story. The author tells these tales through the experiences of the clinical scientists who found and fought these diseases. These women and men hacked through jungles, crawled through bat caves. A little over halfway through the book, it hit me. The heroes in almost all of these stories were veterinarians. For at least the first 6 chapters, the first scientist in the field was a vet. So the truth is that there will be a story like this, perhaps not quite as dramatic, about every graduate in this class. No matter what job you are going to, you're going to be part of the solution to come. I know every one of you will make a huge difference for animals, people, and our society. Before we close this ceremony, there's a group of absolutely critical people without whom this day could never have come. And that is the parents, family members, spouses, partners, and friends who have helped the class of 2020 throughout their studies and are listening today to celebrate with you. I would normally ask you to stand so we could recognize you. Tonight, I can only ask that you accept our gratitude and respect for your part in this accomplishment. I'd like to thank everyone for joining us and hope you have a wonderful and safe evening ahead. Sometime in the not too distant future, I hope to see you again for an in-person graduation and commencement ceremony. We are committed to making this happen when we can. So while this concludes our formal ceremony, it will be followed by a slideshow prepared by Dr. Maura Wade, class of 2020, which I know you will enjoy. So please don't turn off the video feed right away. Ladies and gentlemen, congratulations, good night, and good luck.
Here's to the ones that we got. Cheers to the wish you were here, but you're not, 'cause the drinks bring back all the memories of everything we've been through. Toast to the ones here today. Toast to the ones that we lost on the way, 'cause the drinks bring back all the memories, and the memories bring back you. There's a time that I remember, and I did not know no pain. When I believed in forever, everything would stay the same. Now my heart feels like December when somebody say your name. 'Cause I can't reach out to call you, but I know I will one day. Hey. Everybody hurts sometimes, everybody hurts someday. Hey, hey. But everything gon' be alright. Gonna raise a glass and say,
Ain't too sure what I believe in, but I believe in what I see. And when I close my eyes, I see my whole life ahead of me. These are all
trust you night to night. Edge of the earth and we're touching the sky tonight. Out on the verge of the rest of our lives. These are ours. This is our time. These are ours. Out on the verge, out on the verge, out on the verge of the rest of our lives. Out on the verge of the rest of our lives tonight. Top of the world, and we'll trust you tonight, tonight. Edge of the earth, and we'll touch in the sky tonight. Out on the verge of the rest of our lives. Ooh, yeah. From now on, there's no looking back. Full steam ahead on this one-way track. From this day forward, I will make a promise to be true to myself and always be honest. For the rest of my life, I will do what's right. I will do what's right. When I step out on the verge of the rest of our lives tonight, I will go out and trust you tonight. Edge of the earth, touching the sky tonight. Out on the verge of the rest of our lives. Touching the sky tonight. Out on the verge of the rest of our lives. I messed up tonight. I lost another fight. Just to myself, but I'll just start again. I keep falling down. I keep on hitting the ground. I always get enough to see what's next. Birds don't just fly, they fall down and get up. Nobody learns without getting it wrong. I won't give up, no, I won't give in until I reach the end, and then I'll start again. No, I won't leave. I wanna try everything. I wanna try even though I could fail. I won't give up, no, I won't give in until I reach the end, and then I'll start again. No, I won't leave. I wanna try everything. I wanna try even though I could fail. Try everything. I'll keep on making us new.
celebrations, museum victories. Every day we wanted everything, Mama said, don't give up, it's a little complicated. All tied up, no more love, and I'd hate to see you waiting. They say it's all been done, but they haven't seen the best of it. So I got one more run, and it's gonna be a sight to say. Had to have high hopes for a living, shooting for the stars when I couldn't make a killing. Didn't have a dime, but I always had a vision, always had high hopes. Had to have high hopes for a living, didn't know how, but I always had a feeling I was gonna be that one in a million. Always had high hopes. Had to have high hopes for a living, shooting for the stars when I couldn't make a killing. Didn't have a dime, but I always had a vision, always had high hopes. Had to have high hopes for a living, didn't know how, but I always had a feeling I was gonna be that one in a million. Always had take it.